Welcome to day 12 of our January challenge and a brand new challenge today. So I'm absolutely delighted to introduce to you the piece called Chopiene, which is by Doug Thomas. Doug Thomas is a French composer living in London, and I first came across him in a submission he did to 15 Seconds Harp, which is a composition project that Olivia Yeagers runs. Very much worth looking up. She's on Facebook with it, she's on Instagram with it, and people submit very short 15-second long compositions, which she then plays on her pedal harp, and she gives feedback on as well. And it's fascinating seeing all the different things that have been sent in to her. And Doug sent her one based on some Bach motifs, and I loved what he did with it, and I thought that was really exciting. So I got in touch with him, and he has very kindly done a piece based on some Chopin motifs. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play you just today's section, as you can see there, and I'm going to play it round in a loop 2 or 3 or 4 times for you before I then talk through what we're doing key-wise and give you a bit more information on the background to this piece, because I just want you to hear it. And what I'd like you to do is perhaps just sit back and close your eyes and just allow it to wash over you. So here we go. So it's very meditational, okay? This is the first bar of a piece that he's written that's actually 12 bars long, although we're only going to look at 10 of them over the course of the next 11 days. And it's a piece of music, and there's a special word which I believe is aleatoric, whereby you can play the bars in any order that you like. So I'm going to teach you them bar 1 today, bar 2 tomorrow, and so on. But the actual performance of it is entirely up to you as to which bars you play, in which order. You can leave bars out entirely. And it's also very meditational, so that we loop round on individual bars before we move on. So I wanted to just tell you some of the notes from the conversations that I've had with Doug, to kind of give you a bit of background on this. So the approach to this music is modal, okay? So the idea of tonal movement isn't really there. Modal music takes its inspiration from the music of the East, where rhythm and melody take over harmony. So the performer should really think about vamping, which is the going round on a single idea. Vamping and staying in one place. In other words, it's less directional than traditional music. Okay, so just really allow those words to sink in. It's modal, and it takes its inspiration from the music of the East, where rhythm and melody lead. It's about almost individual lines, and I like to think of it very much like being individual voices in a choir, and those individual lines having their own place. Although these are based on motifs from Chopin, and they're based from some of his preludes and his etudes, the feel of it also reminds me, for example, of the Britten Ceremony of Carols, in terms of every line, every vocal line has its own valid place. Doug Thomas told me a bit about the inspiration from Chopin. It's pretty much an equal mix of sources from both his preludes and his etudes, but it's been very lightly done. So it might be a rhythmical motif or a melodic line, or even just an intervallic pattern, the pattern of a particular interval sequence of 2 notes. And what I love is how Doug wrote to me and said it was really about taking Chopin's vocabulary and grammar and making it his own. So I'm going to play it again for you, and then I'm going to talk through how to tackle it and help you get your head around the way it lines up. So I'm just going to play it through the once, just for you to have one last listen before we actually have a go at tackling it. Here we go. And frequently in this piece, the other exciting thing about how Doug has written it is that quite often the bars are palindromic, which means that they kind of mirror each other in different ways. That might be with the rhythm or with the actual notation itself. Don't get too caught up in that, but it's quite a nice little twist on what's going on in it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk to you about is the timing within this piece. It's written in 9/8, that's 9 quavers or 9/8 notes happening in the bar, but it doesn't necessarily have the feel of breaking into groups of 3. It will vary bar to bar as well. So within this bar, if you notice, we have kind of the 4 quavers in the left hand, and the top hand might be offset a bit from there. Then the 5th quaver, which is our midpoint of the bar, they both land together. And then we have a group of 4 quavers in the right hand. And now it's the left hand that's offset. So I think the first thing we could do is play the first 4 notes in the left hand without worrying about the top hand. We're going to play. Now we're in 2 flats. We've got B flat and E flat, so just our A levers on. If you're tuned to 3 flats, if you're tuned to 4, you may also have your Ds, but just B flat and E flat, everything else is natural. And before I started playing today, I retuned my harp with those particular levers in mind, because sometimes there can be a difference between the lever on and being in tune, and then when you take the lever off, is it still in tune? Just a little intonation thing. So I've retuned to make sure that I'm absolutely now pristinely in tune, because I'm going to stay now playing in this key for the next 10 days. So I'm going to play those first 4 notes in the left hand, which are F, B, A, F, right down in the bass, so maybe take it a bit lower than the middle of the strings. Then I'm going to meet both hands together on the very next quaver beat with F in the left and B in the right. Then my right hand's going to take over this beat with B, D, E, B. Okay? So we're going to do that now strictly in time. So all I'm playing is the first 5 notes of my left hand and the last 5 notes of my right hand, noting that they meet in the middle. And I'm just playing with something on every beat. So I'm going to maybe tap my foot. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. Give us a steady beat. And I'm going to count us in with a 7, 8, 9 before we start. Okay, here we go. 7, 8, 9. Together, right. Okay. And I'm going to do that now a couple of times through, so at least twice through. And the feel of it is therefore kind of a 4 with a 1 of a join and then another 4. And melodically that sort of feels very much like the feel there. So I'm just going to play that same pattern of notes, but I'm now going to loop it round at least twice, okay? 7, 8, 9. Together. well done. Now, I'm going to add in the very first right hand note of the bar with that bass left hand. And I'm going to add in the very last left hand note of the bar, which lands with the top hand. So I'm still just doing things that are landing on the beat, okay? So at the beginning, I'm going to play my left hand like we have been doing, but I'm also adding the right hand B. And when I get to the end of that bar, when the right hand's gone, B, D, E, as I play this B, I'm going to add my left hand with an F, and then I'm jumping back down here, okay? We'll give it a go. Still just keeping everything on the beat. Here we go. I'll give you 7, 8, 9. Here we go. 7, 8, 9. Ready together. Top hand. Ready, gonna be together now. And together. Together. Right. Together. 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 Okay, we're building up to now putting in our couple of offset notes, but I wanted you to really get into that feel, and you might go round and round that quite a number of times before you want to add anything more in. So the only other notes we've got left to add in, and I'm going to kind of place it with 1s and 2s. So my first note in that right is going to be a B. And notice how actually both hands are on the same notes, Fs and Bs. It's just starting in a different order. My other notes that are going to come in the offbeat. So we're together, left, right, left, right, left, together, right, left, right, left, right, together. Okay? And it's really allowing the space before the together, not rushing into that. So I think again, get yourself a tapping foot or get yourself into that vibe. Okay, let's try it. Okay. 3, no, let's do 7, 8, 9, together, left, right, left, right, left, and together, right, left, right, left, right, and together, and. Okay, something to work round and round. I'm not going to be too specific on which fingers to use because what's going to feel comfortable is going to feel comfortable probably just for you, and someone else will find something different comfortable in this. It's very much about the feeling of it being like a mantra, going round and round. This piece, I've been practicing it for a couple of weeks now in preparation of teaching it, and it has grown on me and grown on me and grown on me, and I'm now absolutely in love with it. But I will admit, when I first played it, I thought, eek, not sure what people are going to make of this. So if you're feeling a bit eek in hearing it, I'd really like to encourage you to stick with it and allow yourself to relax into it. Each of the bars are quite different, although they do work going one to the other. So that interesting timing of that bar may or may not repeat elsewhere. It isn't every bar is going to be like that one. And you get to pick and choose as well which bars you're going to eventually want to play. So take your time with it. Keep it really, really steady. It was originally written much, much faster. But Doug Thomas has been so approachable, and we've done back and forth in working out a way that makes it really fit with his original desire and feel for it, but also with playability, and actually to make it more mantra-like, allowing it to be really gentle and really take your time with it. I'm going to play it for you one last time just so that you can finish with it. I'll play it a couple times round and then we'll stop for today. Well done. Here we go. Explore it and enjoy it. Well done.